right, I believe we are now live. Hello, everybody. Every pony. My bad. I've been a little ill this week. Welcome to another Equestria Amino interviews with Brawny Buck today. We have him on the line. So, Brawny Buck, if you are there and I can find my Skype volume, why don't you say hello to the Equestria Amino fan base?
Greetings, everyone. How are you doing?
Yeah, they're not really here.
All right.
They can't. They can't answer you. But
Yeah, I
I'll.
forget that sometimes.
Yeah, I will answer for them. I'm sure they're stoked to see you, and I'm sure we will get some people in the chat momentarily once I started. I started actually the last stream I did with Little Shy and Jay Holler. I screwed up and I was just setting up the stream and clicked streaming for 1 second and stopped it immediately. And I had like 10 people in chat going, "Where's the stream? I can't find it. It's not going. Did I miss it?"
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I felt like an idiot. But anyways, Bronny, welcome. Thank you for doing this, and I know it took a little while to get it together.
Yep,
Oh,
life's pretty crazy.
shut up, Eyesore. Eyesore is one of the theft prevention team I was mentioning earlier.
All righty then.
Yes. So, anyways, thank you for joining us, and yeah. So, why don't we talk about ponies? I think that's what we're here for, right?
All right. Well, I'm here to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm going.
Excellent.
I'm going in completely blind. I was hoping you would direct me.
Oh, I was doing the exact same thing. We are so screwed. um,
Well,
Actually, I know a good starting point. You were talking about this right before we got on the stream here. Is your new Patreon goals or your levels?
yeah, I just earlier today uploaded a video uh, that answered a lot of frequently asked questions I get, such as how do I edit? Why do I look the way I do? Why do I look differently between seasons? Things of that nature. And then after that, I gave some updates of what's going to happen with my Patreon. For the longest time, one of my biggest supporters, he would have the Irish John gentleman would have his videos at the start of a Buck to the Face episodes, but he's no longer a patron, so his videos are no longer going to be there. People got to go subscribe to him. I was really hoping he would get more subscribers through me, but that hasn't happened. So people got to go subscribe to him so they can see his stuff because it's hilarious. What else is going to happen? I'm trying to get a wider variety of content on my channel, stuff that I have been wanting to produce for a long time, in some cases since I started making videos, but only until now had the resources to do so. And then it was kind of an update from there of just, my living and career situation is a little bit difficult right now, and that's why I'm revamping my Patreon to see if I can get more people in to offer some support, because I did this in the video, but I really hate just asking for things. I feel like I should work for whatever it is that I have. And that's the main reason of the Patreon, is if I'm going to supplement my income at all, it's got to be me doing something for the people who are supporting me. The one that I'm really banking on is to see if anybody would like me to teach them some of my skills. Because as I said earlier, I get a lot of questions like, how do you edit your videos? Or how do you do this, that, or the other thing? Well, normally I would tell you to get software that can do it and then look up a tutorial. But maybe I can interest you in teaching you myself. That kind of thing.
Oh, hold on. Is the thumbnail still the last thumb? Did I not change the thumbnail? Damn it.
I'm uncertain.
No, sorry. You keep going. I'll deal with that.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had to say on that matter.
Well, damn. All right. In that case, I would like to ask you what inspired you to start doing what you do on YouTube. Like, I know was pony things the first things you did on YouTube?
Yeah. I wasn't terribly active in any other fandom before this. When I was a young teenager, I was into Code Lyoko, and I hung out on the forums occasionally, but I didn't really do a whole lot. And that's all I did. I know that when I was a young child and up into my teens, I watched a lot of television. But once I got into fitness and focused on writing that I was doing. So when I started getting more real life hobbies, pretty much stopped watching television. So when I got into the fandom, it was more or less just a show that I could actually watch.
Right.
Because another reason I fell out of television was because I grew, and this is going to sound so pretentious, and I apologize in advance, but I grew a brain and I grew a conscience. And when those two things happened, I hated television.
Screw
It
you,
was
big cable.
it was just, if the characters and the stories weren't terrible, it was delivering a moral or ethical message that I adamantly disagreed with on multiple levels, or it was all three. So, between that and doing all the studying and writing and exercising that I was doing, I just stopped watching television. Then in 2010 rolls around, and one of my friends that I had actually met on the Code Lyoko forums, and we just never stopped talking to each other. She's making some quote. I believe it was Rarity. I don't remember which quote it was, but we're talking December 2010 here. And I go, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "It's from this." And she shows me a clip from the show, and I go, having the attitude towards television that I did, I said, "You got to stop watching television. That's mind poison. You're going to poison your mind." Especially My Little Pony, because I was, the My Little Pony that I knew was the stuff that had happened prior to Friendship is Magic. And she goes, "No, just watch it." I'm fine. I got an open mind. I'm not doing anything tonight. Slow night. I'll sit down for a little bit and I'll watch it. And I had watched up to that point, and I believe that was 6 or 7 episodes. I don't know however much had aired up to. All I remember is December 2010. So, but I got done with those first 2 episodes. I was like, okay, this is actually good. I can actually watch this.
Right.
And so I did. And then it was 2012. A lot of things happened all at once. That was a terrible year for me. A lot of things happened all at once. That was the year that the bottom fell out of my career. That other plans that I had been making for the rest of my life kind of fell through. And so I had nothing to do with myself, basically.
I opened the stream.
Yeah, I got to be careful of that. So that, a lot of plans that I had been making fell through, and I didn't have anything to do with myself. So I started getting more into the fandom. I wasn't just watching the show anymore. I was going on Equestria daily, looking at art, listening to music, going on Meme Base, and listening to the big 3 at the time, which were Digibrony, who was at like a few thousand subscribers, and ANY and Tommy Oliver, then Brony Curious. And they were really interesting to listen to, the different theories and reviews on which, how the characters were going, if it was applicable to real life. It was really interesting, and I could tell that these guys were smart and, had some pretty good brains on them, so I liked listening to them. However, that being said, I only agreed with them about half of the time. So it was a really interesting educational experience for me to hear these kinds of things, but I was always listening to them thinking, okay, but did you consider this? And it was more often than not an aspect of an episode or an aspect of a character that gave something that they were calling into question or criticism context that they were, for whatever reason, not acknowledging.
Right.
But what tore it for me, where I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to start making videos. Is I was on Meme Base of all places in the My Little Brony section, and this was like, gosh darn, when did season 3 air? It was like November of 2012, and so season 3 airs, and everybody's like, this is the worst thing ever. Oh, God, what was that King Sombra? He barely had any screen time. He didn't have any dialogue. How am I supposed to understand this character? But let me tell you something. King Sombra, the first time I saw him, blew my mind. I, the Crystal Empire is still my favorite two-parter because of all. There really is so much in underlying themes going on with the character of King Sombra and the situation of that two-parter in general, and people were just completely overlooking it. So I told you all that to tell you this. I'm on Meme Base. I'm on My Little Brony. Somebody posts that picture of Patrick Starr, and he's like talking into a radio with King Sombra under a spotlight, and he goes, "He's just standing there, menacingly." Okay, we're done here. I'm getting tired of you guys just not comprehending how incredibly amazing this King Sombra character is. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to put together. A channel here, and that was rough. That was a rough experience. I had been editing on Adobe Premiere CS3 up to that point, and then I upgraded to CS5, and it was very different. So had to completely relearn the software, had to completely relearn Photoshop, and not only did I have to completely relearn Photoshop, I had to learn new skills in Photoshop, because at that point, all I knew how to do were touch up pictures. Like, I might take, because I'm a photographer as well. If I took a picture of you, and let's say for whatever reason you had a scar on one side of your face, or a big mole on your neck, or something, some sort of blemish that you didn't want to be presented.
Yeah, a little physical character flaw.
Yeah, I could do that, or I could make your face thinner, or I could make you look however I wanted to, but I did not know how to vector, and I did not know how to trace. Again, my same friend that got me into the fandom, she's an artist, is Swift Yuki, and everybody should be looking her up right now. I was like, okay, can you show me how to do this? So she showed me how to recolor all these bases that I found on DeviantArt, and I never bothered to credit any of the artists that I stole that from, because I was learning Photoshop and just not thinking about it. And I used that in conjunction with whatever I had made in General Zoe, and recorded on my computer microphone for the first 2 years I was doing videos, and then eventually I got a Blue Snowball, which I still use now. So that's how I got into it. It was the series that I started off with that I got to continue at some point in time, because it's been 1.5 years since I've uploaded one. Is Brony Debates, and it was, okay, so what's going on in the fandom that are we not considering? That kind of thing. Like 2013 rolled around, and we had Keep Calm and Flutter On, right, with Discord's initial reformation, and then the season 3 finale, Magical Mystery Cure, and then Equestria Girls, relatively close to each other. So by the time that Sunset Shimmer was forgiven at the end of Equestria Girls, everybody was like, what the heck's up with all these villains getting forgiven? And nobody liked it, or very few people liked it, rather. I was one of the people that did. And so that was a video that I made, where one of the first videos that I really put a lot of effort into. It's like, okay, let me tell you why it's important that we're exercising forgiveness on some of these villains. And then I even differentiated between Discord prior season 3, or Nightmare Moon, and Chrysalis, and King Sombra, or Sunset Shimmer. I differentiated all of them because they did act very differently to warrant the outcomes that they had. There was hope for Sunset Shimmer and she made the decision to take that chance. The whole point of Nightmare Moon was to redeem and forgive her. Who else? So what I came to the conclusion in that video was it is important to exercise forgiveness and give people that chance. Now, what happens to them after that is completely their choice. So if you go out of your way to try to work with somebody and try to help them, and they still decide to screw you over, or just show that they are going to continue their ways, or that they're not grateful for your help, then you wash your hands. Or if they're still being antagonistic towards you, then you do what you have to do to defend yourself. That's when you get situations like King Sombra, like Queen Chrysalis, like Lord Tyrek, things of that nature.
Right. So, oh, sorry, that's a long one. So, yes, also all the villains, like the Reformation, is, like you said, it's important to show that, second chances are important. Forgiveness is important.
Yeah, it's important. You got to give people the chance. You don't want to cast your pearls before swine, because you're only going to end up hurting yourself that way. But at the same time, you don't want to hold on to hatred if you can avoid it.
Yeah, that festers and becomes.
Yeah, you're gonna do more damage to yourself and the people that you care about before you do any damage to the people that you hate. And we saw that demonstrated really well in the Hooffields and McColts.
Yes, exactly. It becomes a lifelong obsession. And you're not even sure why you hate that person anymore.
Right.
You just know that you hate them, and it's burning inside of you and eating you up. Yeah, no, it's things like that become an all-consuming passion, and honestly, I'm hoping, because, like you said, that sort of thing is important, but at the same time, it can be boring in a storyline perspective when villains just like, yeah, no, I'm good now.
No, I totally understand that. Our instinctual nature as humans, for those of us who believe in evolution and things of that nature, it is instinctual for us to want to retaliate with the same force that we are given.
Eye for an eye.
Yeah, exactly. And it is understandable, and it is even practical in some cases, but it's not something you want to default to.
No, it should never be the go-to response,
right.
I should say.
Yeah, and this is when we get into lessons like Babseed or One Bad Apple, when it was when the Cutie Mark Crusaders, instead of going through the steps of trying to help Babseed, just went straight from, okay, she's being a bully, and let's not tell anyone, let's not try to establish any form of communication. We're just going to go straight to running her off a cliff. You're gonna run into problems like that. Yes, it helps. That sort of method can stop a bully, and I will be the first person to tell you that, because it's what I used to do. Especially when I was in school, right up through early college. If someone was messing with me, they would just get the boot. They would get the Brawny Buck, and without any hesitation. Now, it worked. It got them off my back. People stopped messing with me, but it also makes you kind of scary, and so you're not gonna have any friends anyway.
Yeah, and the opposite side of that too is, like, eventually you might end up becoming the bully because you're so used to doing that you might start looking at even small transgressions as a means or a reason to lash out too.
Yeah, and it is a very slippery slope. So while I'm all for self-defense, but there's a ladder of escalation that you have to climb, and self-defense is at the very top. So you got to go through all the steps to get there.
Exactly. All right, just looking through the chat here, I see, unless you might have answered some of these if you were looking, I might have missed it in the long...
some of the questions there. We've got this Kingpin, I'm assuming gentleman, asking if I have ever considered studying philosophy.
Yes, that is the one I was looking at.
Right. Somebody else asked me what my favorite color is. It's purple. Let's see here. In a way, I already have studied philosophy.
Pony philosophy.
No, not pony philosophy. I understand pony philosophy really well. because I've dedicated a good chunk of my life to Bible study. I'm a devout Christian, have been all my life. And when I was late teenager, I started writing a book series based that was kind of inspired by Tekken, because I was really into Tekken at the time. So and
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I love playing Tekken too. I'm just thinking of Bible stories crossed with Tekken now for some reason.
no. It actually had nothing to do with that. But I ended up needing to do a lot of research into the martial arts, and in order to create a fictional martial art like what I wanted to do, to serve as the main plot device here, sort of kind of like the Force, what the Force is to Star Wars. In order to create that, I had to do a lot of research into the concepts as they are grounded in reality, such as the concepts of channeling internal energy, or ki. Yeah,
Key or chi, whatever.
whichever country you're in. And there is a lot of Taoist and Buddhist practice that goes into obtaining that. So in researching that, I also had to study Taoist and Buddhist philosophy. And I was surprised. I was very surprised that to find that Taoism, which is more of a philosophy than a religion, and some basic aspects of Taoism and Christianity have a lot in common, in terms of the way that Jesus taught us to interact with the world around us, how to respond to being attacked, and things of that nature.
Right. Sorry, I was expecting more after that one. Sorry.
Nope.
No, that works. Excellent.
Yep. So that's my study into philosophy. But the Bible is where I get probably 50% of my knowledge, and then the rest of it is personal experience. But I have yet to have a personal experience that where the Bible and its teachings, especially the teachings of Christ, were not applicable. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I grew up in. As funny as for myself, and as far as I won't get into a big religious thing here because that's nothing. That's never ends well when you just start getting into that.
You do whatever you want to do. I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah, no, like I said, I grew up going to church until I was 15 and got a job, and finally could say, "Oh, no, I work tomorrow. Can't go to church. Sorry." It's something that's never been a thing for me. Like I never. My big thing about going to church was afterwards I got to go to the corner store and play video games and get a Slurpee. That was my that's what I loved about church, was getting Slurpees afterwards. So, but again, like with a lot of religions, they've got a good base, and the core tenets of that are good teachings. Be good to people, don't murder, don't kill, don't cheat, don't steal. Those are good things, but a lot of times they get carried way out of proportion, and all of a sudden we're in a crusade. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
Spanish Inquisitions and stuff like that, witch hunting, and so again, there's as with everything, there's upsides and there's downsides, and I had a point to that, and I've completely lost it all of a sudden. Oh yes, I grew up with my grandmother, very religious, tells me every day, make sure you say your prayers and stuff like that, and I never have the heart to tell her, I personally, I think agnostic would be the best way to describe it. Is like I don't personally currently believe there is a higher power God thing. Like I don't pray to God, but at the same time, I would be willing to believe there is one if sufficient proof was shown to me. I'm not like there is no God. You're stupid for believing in that. Faith is what gets a lot of people through the day, and that makes me happy for them that they have something that propels their life forwards in a positive manner.
Right.
I have other things that do that for me, and I figure like as long as nobody's hurting anybody, that's the way that things should be. So,
and that works to a certain degree, but at the certain time, at the same time, as long as nobody is hurting anybody, that philosophy can very easily turn into complacency. And if you don't have moral grounding, in something that's consistent and something that, well, this will be redundant, but never changes, you're going to start running into problems. And people, and this is where Taoism,
societal stagnation.
yeah, this is where has its biggest problem as well, is that things become morally relative, and people can justify doing whatever they want, and then you start getting the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah. Again, like I said, there's ups and downs to each side, and everything has its tipping point. So you kind of have to find that balance between everything.
Yeah. So something to that I'd like to share with you is that helps me is that my proof for the existence of a divine creator is in the world around me as it is. The utter application of chaos theory, where everything fits exactly where it needs to be. For the most part, there's a pretty good balance in the world of creation and destruction, and how everything works so intricately on the anatomical, the right down to the atom, to microscopic levels.
What do
Just
DC superheroes have to do with this?
fits, fits so perfectly that it is unfathomable to me that any of this could have been by accident.
Right.
So that's what shows me. So I see God in everything, from the trees to the people that you and I interacting right now. We went on our paths from the moment that we were born, and now our paths are crossing for this conversation.
And that is a sure sign that the devil is real, because this is an abomination.
Well, balance. There is balance in the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Anyways, I think these people are here for ponies.
Yes.
I think we've got a little off track.
Yes. I did see a couple of other questions in here. Someone asked me my favorite ship.
Yes, I was just looking at that one. I think Isor asked that. Favorite ship and why, actually?
Favorite ship and why? The Cakes. Because that is one of the most realistic portrayals of a marriage and rearing twins that I have seen in a while. The Cakes. That is a very relatable family structure right there. The husband and wife trying to raise two insane children. Basically, it's very realistic to me. It's very relatable. And I like canon ships anyway.
Yeah, they're kind of neat. I would love, and I'm sure obviously you would too, hearing that. I'd love to see an episode dedicated to the Cakes and their kids, like literally, even like no main characters, like maybe seeing like them walking by a window with no dialogue, just have them in the episode, but the rest of the episode is just about the Cakes.
Right, that would be really good.
I would. Love to see that.
I'm sure you could throw Pinky in there, and just make it pretty easily justifiable. As long as we don't get another Baby Cakes, we kind of got that last week, and it was just I didn't enjoy any part of it.
Oh, with Flurry?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy any part of that, and that was the other question I got is what do I think about the season 7 episodes thus far? I really liked the first 2.
Yes,
but there was no part of last week's episode that I enjoyed.
There were a couple pieces here and there I found amusing, but after such a strong open, I was kind of like meh, and especially because I'm still trying to get over my dislike of the Princess of Merchandise.
Yeah,
because that's what she's the princess of. The princess.
Yeah,
of merchandise.
there's no strong reason for her to be an alicorn. It's tearing holes. You could fit a cargo bus through this.
The plot hole.
In the lore, in the established lore of the show, just
real quick, so in case no spoilers. I guess some lazy people still haven't seen the new episodes. So
okay,
sorry
for that. For that, I apologize, but I am talking about Flurry Heart right here, so I'll just keep my thoughts on the episode vague. However, I am going to tell you that the episode's title was A Flurry of Emotions. So, yeah, Flurry Heart in general here, absolutely no reason to be an alicorn. Just uh, really messes with the established lore of the show, and that kind of thing is important to me, in my enjoyment.
Yeah, I mean, unless they pull some amazing writing out of their behinds later in the season, like they're gonna have to come up with some.
I think it's pretty safe to assume at this point that they're not going to.
Yeah, I always like to again
Yeah.
optimism, but
Well, pattern recognition has to become a factor. Last season would have been the time to do it. They focused on Thorax and Trixie and Starlight instead. That's perfectly fine. I loved it, but we could have done all that without Flurry Heart existing at all, much less being an alicorn.
oh, I
Uh,
know. At the end of season 7, it was all a dream.
oh my God,
Yeah, there's
I
let's hit that trope right.
I would nope right the heck out of this whole deal in an instant.
Oh yeah, like just let's just burn the fan into the ground. I'm out. Nope, nope, nope.
Yeah, okay. When
God damn it!
DHX
No,
when DHX becomes Disney, I'm out.
no. I would. The only thing that would not make me nope out of that is if they kept it a secret the whole time, and the end of season 7 is like it was all a dream, written by M.A. Larson.
See, that sounds like the end of Pony's anthology. It was had
She's
year.
dead.
Yeah, the end.
Yeah.
Ah! Stick the tongue right out.
Oh, that was fantastic. I was actually looking at that last night.
Oh, Pony's Anthology 3 was so good because all they did was rag on Alicorn Twilight because that was a problem in itself when that
Yeah.
happened.
It was just so sudden, and like it was so soon too. Like after this, like 2 seasons in, and all of a sudden, Alicorn Twilight. What?
Yeah, for no reason.
No,
For no reason.
for,
And they
for,
and
for monetary
sort of,
reasons.
they sort of recovered it as they went down the line, but it was a very poorly told story, and it was told for all the wrong reasons. And I've not been able to watch Magical Mystery here more than once.
Well,
It,
I think the problem that you're
yeah,
having here is that you don't understand that she's come such a long way, and that Celestia's been watching her from her very first day. Like I don't think you understand that. There's a whole song about it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And that's another problem with that episode is that the music from it got stuck in my head. I've only seen it once, but I know all the songs. I don't. Maybe it's because it traumatized me so badly that I remember all the songs. But some of them are even enjoyable. Life
Morning
in
in
a
Ponyville
string of
shimmers. Yeah,
shimmers.
yeah. Oh, the Life in a Quest, whatever. Is it Life in Ponyville? I
Oh,
can't remember now.
no, that was a reprise at the end. The beginning was Life in Ponyville.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, it was Morning in Ponyville shimmers.
Morning in Ponyville shines.
Morning in Ponyville shines. Just like that too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Twilight just rolled right out of that tree fort with a bass two singing voice, and the whole town joined right in.
it's instant choreography. Actually, that's a good topic to go on to here. Why don't we see what's your favorite canon show song?
Oh my gosh, there's not many of the show songs that I like actually.
Oh dear.
I skipped right over most of them, right up through like season 4. I think we started having songs that I enjoyed. But before that, I enjoyed the Smile song, and that was it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Speaking.
So you're gonna go with Smile as your answer?
Smile's always the first one that comes to mind. I really liked Glass of Water. I love that song.
Yeah, let's make it top 3 then. Smile, Glass of Water.
Apples to no, not apples to the core.
Racist Barn.
Razor Spartan. Thank you very much. That's what I was going for, and that is what I was going for. I'm not just trying to dive roll.
Yeah. Thanks for the save, Busy. Let's move on.
Yep.
No, actually, I really like that song too.
Yeah.
And I hate country music, so it's weird.
You'll play your part. Didn't like that song the first time I heard it. It grew on me. I really liked the harmonies that the princesses were pulling off.
Yeah, anything with harmony. I'm a sucker for harmonies.
Yep. The wedding song from Slice of Life, where Final Scratch and Octavia are collaborating.
Yes, that's a good one. I do enjoy that very much.
And just about every song in Rainbow Rocks.
Yeah, the songs are better than the movie.
Oh, how dare you!
I didn't say the movie was bad. I said the songs were better than the movie. There's a scale
Okay.
there. I'm not saying, oh, I hated the movie, but the songs were okay. Like, no, the movie was good, but the songs were the best thing about it.
Okay, so then the correct way to word that would be, I enjoyed the songs more than the movie.
Yeah,
Because you're
yeah,
yeah,
it was poor
start,
wording.
you start using words like the songs are better than the movie. You're going to open up a can of worms with me because I'll sit here and pontificate with you for the next 20 minutes as to why you're wrong.
That could be fun. I hated Rainbow Rocks. The songs were great. The movie sucked. Go.
Listen here, you little son of a.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! This interview is over. I am in control right now.
Yes, I'm sure you are.
Okay, how about we do top 3 episodes?
Episodes. Crystal Empire.
Right? Get your
There at the
somber
top.
fetish.
Yeah. How dare you?
Crystals.
Oh my God! Later, I'm going to tell you some stories about me cosplaying as Sombra, but later. Right now, I got to answer this question. So, Crystal Empire, To Where and Back Again, and I am really tied between Twilight's Kingdom and Canterlot Wedding.
I will give it to Twilight's Kingdom out of those two myself.
Yeah. If we're just doing single parts, Amending Fences, Slice of Life, and gosh, I loved all of season 3. I know I'm in a minority there, but it's really gonna be difficult for me to pick a top 3. Because there's less than 5 episodes in the whole show that I don't like.
Yeah, there's I can't talk all of a sudden. I can only think of one episode that I really don't like, and that's Cart Before the Ponies.
I didn't mind that.
It's in my opinion, it's the worst episode out of the entire show. I mean, again, it's not. I don't hate it, but if I had to pick a worst episode, that is mine.
Alrighty.
Well, here's my reasoning behind it. Tell me if you agree or disagree. We have a little debate on this, but watching the episode, I went in, being very excited for it because wasn't that the a hiatus episode?
No.
No, it's one before that. Anyways, when it came out, I started watching it, and I found myself disappointed moment after moment for 3 main reasons. One, they fell victim to something that happens to a lot of kids' cartoon shows where the main characters forget lessons they have already learned multiple times.
Right.
So, for instance, Rarity, Rainbow Dash, and Applejack all start, making it about themselves instead of helping. Like, their little sisters come to them and say, they're pretty forward about what they want. Like, they don't want to be traditional, they want to be fast, or they want to be, most creative, and they just basically ignore it and make it all about themselves and their past glory days. And I get what they're trying to go for. Oops, hit the microphone. I get what they're going for in terms of, the moral. They're trying to show the same lesson again, but they're using the same characters to do it. I actually rewrote the whole episode using the exact same storyline and morals, but twisting it so that instead of the older ponies being, the main 6 ponies being the, what's the word I'm looking for here? The
antagonists.
Thank you. It was other ponies. So basically, the CMC were like, they went to their sisters like, we want to do this, and they're like, okay, and like, oh, all right, great. So they start, building the carts the way that they want to. But then while they're doing that, they hear, say Derpy and whoever that pony Derpy was with in the episode, cousin, brother, and sister, I don't know who it was. They're arguing over, being creative instead of fast, and then Twist and her mom is like, I want to be traditional and not creative, and so basically the CMC are the ones who are going around and helping them figure that stuff out. I'll send you the link later, but basically, just you could have done the exact same episode by putting the CMC in the protagonist role and putting background ponies in the antagonist role. The main 6 don't look like idiots for not remembering things that happened like 3 episodes ago. That was the most annoying thing about it.
Yeah, and you are definitely not wrong. I don't remember exactly how I did it off the top of my head, but there are ways when you examine, characterization in a wider context. It becomes understandable that sometimes people forget these things under certain
Yeah,
circumstances.
and I was taking that into consideration when I made this rewrite because
Right.
honestly, like literally, like I think it was a couple episodes before that. It was Rarity or Rainbow Dash. I just learned the exact same lesson. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and because of that, I don't really have a problem with the story of it. That doesn't make the those three older sisters any less annoying,
Yeah.
uh, or infuriating. I freaked out. I don't know if anybody saw my reaction to that,
I think I missed
but
that one.
well, if you don't like an episode, you're a lot less likely to watch a review on it. Um,
That's probably what it
but
was.
yeah, but basically, for a buck to the face, when we got to that point, I went off screen, came back on wearing a karate suit, and just went full drill instructor mode on
Actually,
everybody involved. I was like, you Applejack, you need to go off and do something else, and you Rainbow Dash, and you all need to switch partners, and then you kids need to get your head in the game and get it. I was most mad that they had completely forgotten about the physics lesson. I was like, okay, I thought we were here for some practical hands-on education, and instead we're completely forgetting how physics work
yeah.
to begin much less the lesson. So that was what was bugging me. I would not call it a bad episode. It wasn't as enjoyable for me as others were,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and again, that was my point. It's not a bad episode. Just if I had to pick my least favorite, that is it by far.
yeah, and you're definitely not wrong in your complaints. I just don't have those complaints because I see other factors at play.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. That's another question. Did I see some questions here? For Mal, malicious questions that were already answered were favorite ships, favorite songs, favorite episodes, and what is God. Let's
Mm.
see. Does anybody have any questions? Nobody's asking questions today. What the hell? Everyone's just chatting and listening. Usually, these chats are filled with questions. I guess people know everything about you already.
I would doubt that. I
uh,
would soo- I would sooner say I'm probably just not as interesting.
Aw. Well, here I got a question for you. Then, what was your favorite episode to review? To do your buck to the face.
Okay, that's a tough one.
What was
Um,
the most fun?
the most fun I had a lot of fun writing Slice of Life and Cutie Remark. Um, Editing the epic collaborations, as good as they came out, was not nearly as fun because it was very hard work and it took a very long time.
I'm sorry, which up you cut out a little bit for me.
I said writing the epic collaborations and Slice of Life. Those were really fun.
Right.
Uh, writing episode reviews for me is really fun in general because I get to separate the dichotomy that is my own character, the straight man reactionist kind of deal, get my dry sense of humor out there, but also I get to
Be
uh,
wacky.
yeah, there was a lot of comedy to be had. Admittedly, it's a lot better when I'm playing off somebody else.
Yes.
So I kind of, it's really hard for a buck to the face to be good on. It'd be good when I'm by myself, but and then there's moral of the story where I get to kind of stretch my philosophical muscles and really think and put effort into the script. Whereas with a buck to the face, it's just reactions. So
Right.
and then the hardest part of that is getting the visuals right. But I really enjoy writing either of those. So it's hard to pick a favorite episode. The epic collaborations and Slice of Life, I would say, were the most fun to write because we just had a million jokes and could really have fun with the format and in Cutie Remark and To Where and Back Again. I just didn't like editing the seasons 5 and 6 finales because it took months.
Yeah. All right. Now, yeah, people are actually asking questions now that we've shamed them. So let's see. First one I've got here is, what is your favorite fighting? Sorry, what is your favorite cookie?
Favorite cookie?
Favorite type of cookie?
I have a terrible, uncontrollable sweet tooth, and the only way I can even somewhat manage it is to completely abstain from anything.
Now I know your
So,
weakness, Mister Buck.
oh yeah, it's you put a pizza in front of me or any kind of cookie or any kind of cake, it's gonna be very, or any kind of candy, it's gonna be very difficult. So picking a favorite, I don't know, that's gonna be tough.
So whichever
Uh,
your favorite's probably whichever one's in your mouth currently.
Yeah, most likely. I do really like oatmeal raisin and chocolate chip, and I know those are it's like a sin for some reason to like oatmeal raisin, but I really do,
I,
especially when you put cinnamon in it.
I almost
Uh,
stopped the stream right there. Like that was almost over right there.
yeah, how dare you?
You can say
Have you
anything
ever?
you want about ponies, but you mentioned you like oatmeal raisin. Oh, you are a
Yeah.
filthy, filthy
Fun,
man.
fun fact: I was picking out names for my channel when I first started, and I almost called myself the unpopular opinion guy because that is more often than not a good way to describe how I feel about things. I am the unpopular opinion.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Why would you even say that? Oatmeal raisin, Jesus Christ.
Oh, it looks like I've got some supporters in the chat, though. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm banning you all. You're all banned. Favorite
So,
fighting style?
fighting style.
Yes.
Uh,
Girly slap. Next.
I don't. I don't know. They're all valid. They're all valid. I don't like fighting outside of sport. I do enjoy sparring with kickboxing and wrestling occasionally. I don't like actually fighting though. That's no fun.
No, I'm the same way. Like you said, self defense. Like I have no qualms about defending myself, but I don't like to do it because I don't like hurting people. But I will do
I
it if I
love
have to.
fencing. I love fencing. I've done fencing for a long time. I studied it alongside the other fitness and self defense related things I do, but fencing is my sport.
That is
So
something I've always wanted to do.
if I had to pick a favorite fighting style, it would probably be that.
Some swashbuckling. Did you have fencing gear?
Yeah, I did kobudo for about 15 years, and that is kind of a comprehensive Japanese style. So it encompasses a lot of different weapons,
Yeah.
leading up to katana, and
So
that
Nodachi, Boken, katana, that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I did not learn was naginata.
That's a
Um,
hard one. That's a
yeah,
difficult one to learn.
but I know staff, size, nunchucks, katana. Those. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are my specialties.
Yeah.
But I also
Was that? Are they the reason that they're your specialties?
no, they just are. Um, but I also know kamas, which are kind of the sickles. Um,
Yes.
I
On the
know
chain or no?
sometimes they're on a chain, sometimes they're not. It really depends on which school. I did Ishinru Kobudo, so the ones they use are not on chains, and three section staff. So I worked with that a bit. And then as I got into college and kind of got away from Kobudo, I informally learned European broadsword, small sword, the different types of European sport fencing. So your saber, your epee, your foil.
Yeah.
Um, I I prefer saber over everything else.
It's lightweight enough that you can use it without wearing your arms out, and it's got a good thickness on it, good sharpness too.
Well, a fun fact is that most swords weigh roughly the same.
Unless
The
you're
only
talking broadsword or greatsword, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah, unless you're talking about like a gosh darn Zweiheld from
Some claymore action.
yeah, the claymore, the thing that's 5.5 feet long and 3 inches wide all the way down, and it has two sets of giant crossguards on it. Yeah, those things tend to weigh somewhere in the area of 5 to 6 pounds, and then you might have a small sword, and small swords tend to weigh 1 pound.
Right.
But when you take like a long sword or a even an arming sword or a katana and a saber and a rapier and a side sword and all these things, and you put them side by side, they're all gonna weigh between 2 and 3 pounds.
Yeah. Although honestly, for a lot of rapiers and epes, I would give them the lighter unless they got big, heavy cross guards on them or hilts.
Well, rapiers, a proper rapier is like 40 inches long in
Oh
the
yeah,
blade,
fair enough, fair
at
enough.
least 40 to 7, and it's if anything, and a lot of people say that that's a lighter sword, but I don't know why, because not only is it the same amount of steel, but it's stretched out. So imagine,
It's because it's thin. People just assume it's a visual
yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's stretched out, so the center of balance is further away from your body, which, if you know anything about biomechanics or physics, means that it's going to be harder to hold up. It's actually going to feel heavier quicker. You just have the advantage of a really long point that's very difficult to get around.
Yes, you got reach.
Yeah. So those are my favorite fighting styles. I enjoy weapons a lot. I am fascinated by the mechanics, the history of them, and the sport. What other kinds of questions did we get?
Yes, I was just going over that right now. So we had Cookie fighting style favorite, and let's keep this one short. Favorite action movie.
Um, Anything by Jackie Chan
There we
or
go.
Tony Jaa,
Oh, good choice. Yeah, they're both good.
especially Tony Jaa's later work.
Yeah, I love his he's Ong Bak, right?
Ong Bak, the Protector. The Protector actually got me into choreography. That was what sealed it for me. I was like, okay, I need to learn how to do this. This is what I want to do.
Excellent. What's more fun, kicking bricks or shooting bricks?
Um, Probably shooting bricks.
Because your foot
With
doesn't hurt.
yeah, if you're gonna, I mean, I can go through a brick.
Yeah.
But but sometimes I go through the brick and sometimes I don't.
And when you don't, that's what sucks.
Yeah, and it even kind of sucks when you do.
Yeah, I assume it sucks less because then you're not stopping your momentum and putting all
Yeah,
that momentum into your foot.
because when you get into the real hard body stuff, which is something I learned how to do as well out of curiosity. Once you start getting into things like bricks and ceramic, anything harder than wood, really, you're gonna swing at that thing and something's gonna break. Something is going to break.
Yeah.
Whether
It's your
it's
hand or the brick.
yeah, whether it's you or the whatever you're hitting, something's gonna break.
Right.
Hopefully it's not both.
Yeah. Energy cannot be destroyed; it can only be dispersed, and it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What is your opinion on the Daring Do body pillow in the convention episode?
That okay. So
I love that.
if anybody has seen my video on that, there was the gag for that is I was taking a drink and kind of reminding people of the 6-2-1 rule for
Cons.
conventions, which is you got to get this much sleep, you got to make sure you're eating this much food and drinking this much water and
6
taking
hours a
some
day,
time,
2 showers a day, and one something or other. One meal a
yeah,
day.
no, 2 meals, 1 shower.
Oh yeah, sorry, 2 meals, 1 shower.
Yeah,
Depends on who you are, what convention you're at.
it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but it does sometimes. Some people
Yeah.
need 2 showers a day. Actually,
So
if you're a fursuiter, you need 2 showers a day minimum.
yes. So in the video, I was reminding people of that while taking a drink, and then that's when the body pillow showed up, and I choked. Well, while I was actually watching the episode for the first time, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is kind of funny. It definitely looks like a convention." Take a sip of my water, body pillow, and I had to pause the episode to make sure that I didn't die.
And
For
I think for me, what the best part of it is not just a body pillow; it's a bondage body pillow. I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding
yeah,
me?
and you know darn well that's exactly what it is, but nobody at the target audience is going to get that.
No, that one's for the parents.
Yeah, you know darn well, whoever wrote that was like, yeah, pretty much. And then as soon as it got to the animator's desk at whatever, either in DHX Studios in Canada or somewhere out in Korea where they do the touch ups, as soon as it got to that animator and they had to put that in, they were like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I remember I watched that episode and
Everybody involved in that knew exactly what they were doing.
oh yeah, let's make fun of this fandom. Ha ha ha! Bronies, take that.
It's not just the fandom,
Yeah.
bondage body pillows have been around for a long
Oh,
time.
I know. What's funny though is like I did I was doing episode reviews at the time on the Amino, and my review on that one I wrote it was more of a synopsis review, not like a just like here's what was happening in the episode, and I get to that part I'm like, Are you kidding me? A daring do bondage body pillow. Nope, I can't top that. Review over and bye. I just stopped. Can't
Yeah, yeah.
there's nothing else in this episode that is going
But
to top
I
that.
was
I'm done.
so, I was so simultaneously like enraged, disgusted, laughing. It was such a pool of emotions that I'm sitting there for like a good minute and a half, trying not to choke on my drink while simultaneously sorting out how I feel about this. And to this day, I have no conclusion.
Damn it, Twilight! I experienced at least 3 emotions. Oh Christ. Let's see here. Another question. Oh, what? All of a sudden the chat's gone insane. There we are.
Yeah,
What
that's
is
insane.
your proudest moment in martial arts training?
Um, there's a lot of them. I've done some pretty cool stuff. Um, something that a story that I actually like telling that like doesn't involve anybody getting hurt
Yes,
is
let's no hurt people stories this.
yeah. Well, because I've been in matches before and I've pulled off some pretty cool moves, but my favorite thing that I've ever done is teaching, and anything that I did teaching wise I mean, I did a lot of cool stuff in that. I taught kids to read. I taught kids uh, really how to tap into their own potential. And when I started teaching the adults, I did the same thing, and I found that there was almost no difference from teaching a kid properly and teaching an adult properly. I've had parents come up to me and on several different occasions and tell me how much of a help I was
Right.
for their kid.
I think that's
Hang
the
on
best way
just a
is
second.
knowing
Did I
knowing you made a
lose you?
difference. Nope. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. I can hear
Hang on a
you.
second. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I'm experiencing some kind of technical difficulties.
Sorry, guys. If you can hear me in the chat, please. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna restart the call. I guess. Sorry, guys. Gotta love computers, right? I have lost Brawny. Okay, well, apparently you guys can hear me, so that's good. Could you still hear him saying, "Can you hear me?" Oh, here we go. Can you hear me now, Buck?
Yeah, I can. I don't know.
No, it was
Uh,
fine. Like, apparently everyone else could hear you and me, but you just couldn't hear me for some reason.
yeah, and then the call either got dropped or something of that nature. Are we still live?
We are still live. Nothing has changed. Everyone's just like, "Oh, where'd he
All right.
go? Don't leave us, Bronny. How can we take care of the children without you?"
So, but yeah, I taught kids to read. I taught kids how to tap into their own potential. Did the same for a lot of adults. Got a lot of compliments from parents about how they were now more disciplined at home and actually taking on responsibilities, or how they were doing better in school because since coming to me. Um, Two of my favorite ones was I had one student with mild Down syndrome, and the his parent came up to me at one point and said, "You have done more for him than the professionals at the special education department out at the local." The kid was in middle school at the time, and I was like, that absolutely blew my mind. And to this day, I'm not 100% certain on how I should feel about that, because that means one of two things, or maybe it means both of them at the same time. It either means that I'm really good, which I have trouble believing because I didn't study teaching. I didn't study special education. All I did was work with the kid and want to help him, um, and figured it out. That was really all it came down to. I have no formal training in these kinds of things, so it's either I'm really gifted at this thing.
Sorry, excuse me.
That's quite all right. Or or a bunch of people in the special education department down at the school, all of which have master's degrees, are really bad. Or whatever they learned in their master's degrees are inapplicable in the grand reality of things. So there's some disturbing implications within that as well. So that was my favorite compliment that I ever got. But I think the coolest thing I ever did was I had one student came in and he was just super weak. He had just one of those sickly children. Had bad asthma. Had a lot of allergies, although thank God I never had to deal with any of those. And couldn't keep up with the rest of the class.
Yeah.
So what I did with him is I said, okay, instead of trying to keep up with the rest of the class, which you just, let's be honest here, you can't do. Let's see if we can get you to a point where you can. So we're just going to have to slow down.
This is the movie Sidekicks.
Probably. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie Sidekicks.
Okay, no, it's about a kid with asthma who takes karate. It's got Chuck Norris in it, and he
does all the time. The Chuck Norris movie. Yeah. Kind of like that. So what I did is I trained him slowly. I incorporated a lot of concepts that they do in Tai Chi, where I worked his endurance muscles and I worked his lungs. And in order to do that, you need to do a lot of breathing exercises. You need to work on controlling your breathing while you're doing other exercises. You need to do your aerobic exercises very slowly. So really make sure you're hitting these stances. Make sure you're getting the stance deep. Make sure you're taking a big, deep breath as you're doing it. Inhale, exhale at the right points. Over the course of a year, he got up to being able to keep up with the normal class. And that was the coolest thing to me, that we were able to do him there, to help him in that way. This kid who needed an inhaler in class, now, like, he would run through a whole class, keep up with some of the best people in there, and you would have never guessed he was an asthmatic.
Right.
Just so that that was really cool to me that I was able to do that. And again, I just sat down and figured it out.
Yeah, a lot of things like that. A lot of really good things. Even if you, just like you said, you didn't train for it, you didn't go and look to do that, but it kind of came to you. I find that a lot of times the things that happen organically and naturally and that you're passionate about are the things that work out the best too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you set out with a goal and you don't even come close to achieving that goal, but along the way you're like, oh well, actually this is really working over here, so I'm gonna go focus on that now.
Right. Otherwise known as troubleshoes, or the Cutie Mark Crusaders even.
Yes.
But yeah, I actually bumped into him some time later. So that was like 2010 or 2011 that I was doing that, and then after that I went to college down in Florida, and then a whole lot of time goes by and a whole lot of things happen, and then it's late 2014, like November-ish, and October, November-ish, and I'm doing school portraits, photography in the school. So I'm in the school and I'm running through all these pictures, and I get in a rhythm of it, and I just set the picture. Next kid comes in, got to readjust it because they're all taller or different shapes or something like that. Click the button. Next, I'm not even looking, and all of a sudden I hear, "Sensei Brawny, what are you doing here?" I look up, and sure enough, it's just a taller version of this dude that I worked with.
He's all grown up.
Yeah, I was like, oh snap! He was playing football now.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you did him some good.
That kid would have never played football if I had never worked with him.
Right.
No,
that's like I said. Yeah, that's really cool, man.
Do we have any other questions?
I'm just looking at that right now. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to find where the stream cut off. Yeah, and for those of you, I'll answer some questions someone was asking me about moderators. I meant to appoint moderators. This kind of just sprung up on me at the last minute. Oh, actually, that's kind of a lie. I knew this was going to happen all week, but I just didn't deal with it until the last minute. That's why there's no chat moderators. But next time I'm going to sort it out. The problem is these interviews can sometimes happen schedule-wise. I don't know who's going to be available to be a chat moderator, so I have to try and find some people to fill that position. Anyways, let's see here. Try and find some pony-related questions here. Because, I mean, this is a pony, Amino.
Yep.
Actually, here's a question for me, and someone will probably ask the same. Is favorite pony?
I don't have one. I relate really closely to Applejack or Rainbow Dash, depending on the day, but I wouldn't say I have a favorite pony.
All right, so we'll say Apple Dash for you.
All right.
Yeah. What interests you know? I think we covered that. What got you know? What interests you know? P was you answered that question. Did you?
Yeah. I answered that early on. Just to summarize, it's quality. It's good writing. It's good acting. It's good animation, and it delivers a good message. What's not to like?
It's the quadfecta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's actually funny. Here's a question I had for you earlier, and this is one that a lot of people usually ask. Anyways, is what is your favorite fan project? Obviously, outside of your own works, but let's say fan animation.
That's a tough one.
There is a lot of good stuff.
Anything by Brutal Weather. That guy is an amazing animator.
You are not kidding. He did that Metal Gear Solid one too recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be his recent.
Yeah, my favorite of his is still the Cutie Remark prequel.
Yeah.
With the poor Button. TARDIS to the face.
I really miss Jan Animations.
You're not joking. I was so sad that he got shut down with that C&D. That was, it was a great source of humor for years to come, but it's not worth it.
Indeed.
I would have loved. I think this is the same thing. I'll kind of go off on a little tangent here, but I think they handled that situation entirely wrong. In fact, a lot of times companies they shut down potential revenue streams in the guise of protecting their intellectual property. Is what they shouldn't have put a cease and desist on. What they should have done is said, look, you've infringed on our intellectual copyright material, as I can see. Like, you're so good at it to the point where we need to sue you almost because you're so close to our actual product, and we may want to use that character and that thing down the road to make money off of. So how about instead of we tell you to stop or we'll sue, you're hired and you're now making that series.
That's
a very simplified version of it. I think
that's the most common theory. I don't think that's how it works, especially if you take in one. Well, now you're setting a precedence for yourself that you will, and it kind of opens the floodgates to everybody else, and now you're dealing with a whole lot of stuff that you don't want to deal with, and it leaves a lot of public backlash open. I think they should have just left it alone. If they just left it alone, nothing would have happened. If I was in Jan Animation shoes, I would have gladly and thoroughly ignored it. If it's something I want to do, you're not going to stop me.
Right. It was either way. It was unfortunate. I just think that would have been a wonderful thing to have it legitimized.
It's got an opinion, but until we get an honest answer from the people who make these decisions, we have no way of knowing. And therefore, with that in mind, I try to keep my opinions limited as well because I lack the information. Why would I have?
We're not lawyers.
Why would I have a strong opinion on something if I don't have all the necessary information to make an informed opinion?
Yeah. You can have your feelings, be like, I feel it should have been this way, but that's about as far as you can go with that.
Right. All I can do is tell you what I would have done in Jan Animation shoes, and I would have been like, what cease and desist, on a good day. On a bad day, like if you catch me on a day where where everything's going wrong and I'm having an attitude problem because I'm getting sick of it, I go, so what are you gonna do about it? Come at me, bro.
Who are these men knocking on my door? Why are my kneecaps broken?
You know, so I think I would have just been like, what cease and desist? I didn't get no cease and desist. What'd you send that to my YouTube channel? I don't check that.
Yeah.
What'd you send it to my PO box? I don't check that. Would you hand deliver it to me and have me sign off on it? I don't check that.
Yeah, YouTube would have checked it. They would have. But this thing is, like, if that had happened, and so let's say he did ignore it, and YouTube shut down, he could have just opened up his own site and posted the videos somewhere else.
Yeah, that otherwise known as the Team 4-star method.
There you go.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea. All right, let's see here. More guys, more questions. Hold on. I think I see one up here. What's your favorite foreign language dub of MLP?
I have never seen one.
Honestly,
I really like the Italian version of the theme song.
Yeah.
I typically hate the theme song. The Italian version is actually really freaking good.
I will have to check that out. I think I haven't seen one either, but I think my favorite, just on a speculation, would have to be German because of how guttural and visceral and forceful that language is. And, like, just all I can imagine is the ponies shouting in German. This is I love you, Twilight Sparkle. You are my friend.
And meanwhile,
friendship.
Meanwhile, 6 hours ahead of the current time, A&Y's sitting in his room like, I don't know why, but I think I'm going to kick Invisibrony's butt tomorrow.
Well, it's funny. Like, you hear a lot of people speaking German, and it sounds very shouty. But
there's Trick Fox, too. That gentleman.
Yeah. Okay, Random Pool. I know Random's asking because he speaks German, so I know that's his favorite.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Japanese one would be amusing too, but
the Japanese one, before there was a Japanese one, I'm talking 2013, I had an idea for an April Fool's Day joke that I never went through with, and I should have, because it would have been really good before there was a Japanese dub, is making a Japanese dub. And what I would have done is I would have voiced both Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash in the louder scene from Sonic Rainboom, but done it in Japanese and with my voice.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yay! Okoine!
Okoine!
Louder. In case you didn't figure it out.
Okoine! Wait, no, sorry. It's the other way around.
But that was an idea that I had, and I didn't do it, and I probably should have.
Hey, it's not too late.
Yes,
someone's probably already done it.
I just said that it is. It is definitely too late. Nobody would buy it anymore.
Yeah. No, do an April Fool's joke right now from 3 years ago. Do it. Or 4 years ago now. Yeah. Let's see. Pool guy wants it, and one guy asks you to do it. You have to do it. That's the law. Trust me, I'm a lawyer. A Brony lawyer.
Yeah.
All right. I came back to screaming. What happened? Let's see. Anything but chords. Run a business. Those aren't questions. Pardon me. Oh, I hate being sick. Oh, actually, good question for you. What are your opinions on the upcoming animation changes for the movie? They're switching from Flash to Toon Boom.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
So you were like me, and you are sitting and waiting to get your opinion.
Yeah. I don't do
spoilers.
Any sort of spoilers. I don't even watch trailers.
You high five, my man. We are on the same page.
Yeah.
I'm holding my hand up for some reason. I'm that excited about that.
I'm probably at least a couple 100 miles away from you, my friend.
It might take a while, but it'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're the same as me. I hate watching trailers for movies or episodes or even like episodes like what's the word, synopsis or
yeah,
whatever. Like, here's what the episode's going to be. I'm like, great. Now I know what's going to happen. Now, thanks.
Yeah, like if you're the way I work, it's like if I'm not going to watch the movie, whatever. I'll watch whatever I want to about it. If I'm mildly interested in it. Like I don't watch Star Wars movies anymore, but
Yeah.
I'm still mildly interested in what's going on. So I might like if a scene pops up in my YouTube recommended list, I'll put it on if I'm bored. But if it's something I'm gonna watch, I don't want to know anything about it. You just got to come up to me and be like, hey, this thing that you typically like is coming out with some new stuff. You want to go see it?
Yep.
Heck yeah, let's do it. But it's gonna, yeah. Don't tell me anything about it because I like going in blind.
Yeah, same. And just blew you real quick. The questions are not for me; they're for Brawny. This is a stream for Brawny. So if you're asking questions of me, I don't want to answer because the stream isn't about me. Just that might be why your questions aren't being answered. I'll answer this one for you just so you don't feel upset. How did I feel about the Invisidiva challenge? It was funny. I think it was a very funny idea. Sorry, there we go.
Yeah.
I just realized they were asking a bunch of questions, and I realized that they were all about me. And I'm like, this isn't about me. It's okay. Don't worry, Bluey. I'm here to entertain you guys and get Brony YouTubers in here so that you can answer them, and you can ask me these questions on the Amino any day of the week. Brawny's only here for a couple hours, so let's focus on Brawny.
Indeed.
Brawny needs more ego and attention. Ha ha ha.
Aha! It is always nice.
Yeah, a little ego stroking never hurts. Well, actually, I take that back. It can really hurt.
Yeah. Case in point, Trixie.
Yes, that's where I was going with that. Oh my god. Oh, actually, let's talk about Trixie for a minute. So my Trixie is, and this is my favorite episode with Trixie is still the no second prances. Or second.
Yeah.
Was it?
No second Francis.
Yeah. And the reason I like that episode is because it shows how deeply disturbed and depressed that Trixie really is. Because she finally gets a friend, and as soon as she loses that friend, she tries to kill herself. And I'm like, wow, that was dark for a My Little Pony episode. Like that was really dark. Like
they didn't even sugarcoat that. No, I was like, she knew exactly what she was
Starlight,
getting.
If you're my friend, you won't let me die. Like, oh my god.
All right, that was either. I mean, it was one of two things. It was either just a normal suicide, or it was a harakiri.
Yeah. Either way, it was very dark for a kids show.
Yeah.
That
was the harakiri of I'm going to figure out how to do this trick on my own, or I'm going to die with my honor.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm going to give it my best, and if I fail, then I fail. But I failed trying.
Yeah, but I will not. Death before dishonor, the old Bushido code.
Yes. Oh. Nothing is too dark for kids. Then why do they have nightlights, Malicious? Huh? Answer me that.
That's actually a really good comeback. I'm good job. I would not have thought of that. I probably would have given him a real answer and fed the troll like an idiot.
Yeah, no. I find that short, witty retorts are a lot of good way to win arguments. It's like, oh, damn, you got me. And I'll spend 20 minutes trying to convince them. It's like, they have nightlights. You're wrong. End of story. I win again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, that's actually a question. Trixie and Starlight. Where do you see that going?
I have no idea.
No? You think they'll become the first canon female couple,
huh? If they do, I'd be very upset. But I don't think they will. There's.
No, I don't think they will either.
I think at this point there would have been a precedence. Like even if that was something that wouldn't straight end the show, and I do believe it would. Because there are
the parent uprisal.
Yeah, there will, regardless of where modern societal politics lay, that would not fly with an American audience, which is where they get like 90% of their viewership.
Yeah.
So, and not only that, but the creators of the show, the directors, the voice actors, the writers, the executives, they get asked all the time, what kind, are we going to see more canon ships? Are we going to see any romantic subplots? And just come right out and say no. The tagline of the show is friendship, and we're just going to keep it at that. No, that's their answer just about every single time, unless you're asking M.A. Larson, in which case you're going to get that, but you're also going to get some kind of, you're going to get it very indirectly. Put it that.
That's going down the rabbit hole there.
You're gonna feel insulted at the end of it, and you won't know why.
Yeah, that's Larson's writing for you. Oh my god! Yeah, like someone mentioned, they're doing it on Steven Universe right now. They're getting away with it, but Steven Universe is a bit more. It's a couple age levels up.
Sort of. It's aimed at relatively the same demographic, but it has the same sort of wide demographic appeal that it does.
Like I'd honestly just watching the two shows, I'd say like My Little Pony being bright, colorful ponies.
Right.
Is targeted towards a bit more younger audience. The reason
why Steven Universe is getting away with it is I believe because they're very upfront with it, and because of the fan base that they have attracted is vitriolic as I believe the Steven fan base to be. The reason why that show is still on the air with its politics being the way it is because the fandom is rabid.
They're all rabid. Foaming in the mouth.
Yeah, they will. Nobody watches Steven Universe that disagrees with with that narrative or with the messages that they're trying to produce.
Well, to be fair, nobody watches any show that they don't agree with, except to say I don't agree with that narrative and keep up with
it. To a degree, but I'm talking about like people go into Steven Universe knowing what they're going to get. So nobody's surprised is ultimately what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
And that's why it's still on the air. If that were to happen in Friendship is Magic, we'd be done before the week was out.
Well, yeah, because they're changing the format at that point. They're not. It's not how the show started out. It's like this is the show. This is the show. This is the show. Lesbians. Like this is out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I know we've been doing it this way for nearly 7 dang years, but we're just gonna 180 it on you.
Oh my god! Like I just had the best idea for the season, like the show finisher. Like just everyone's a lesbian. Like right at the last show, like everyone just pairs up. Yep, we're lesbians. Gotcha. Show over.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go with.
What you gonna do about it, parents?
We're gonna do with no. Well, you see, that's what Cora did, and all it did was retroactively ruin the rest of the show.
I know. It's kind of funny.
Oh, but we got to do what Larson did on April Fool's Day. I believe it was 2014, where he showed the like series finale as he wrote it, and it was. And do you take this lovely mare to be your bride, or this stallion to be your husband? And Twilight goes, I do. And then Celestia goes, and do you take this lovely mare to be your bride? And Flash Sentry goes, bruh. And then, yeah, totally bruh, or something like that, and that was it.
Totally
the
bruh.
End. She's dead. The end.
Yeah. I still think to this day that's my favorite part of the anthology series.
Right.
That or the actually I like the anthology 2 opening is one of my favorites. The ColecoVision video game opening.
I didn't like that one really as much.
Oh, Phil. Actually, okay, Bluey actually had a question for you, so I will ask them that.
Yes.
And I would totally do this just to. I'm not a shipper. Like I don't ship. Like especially my own character. Like I don't ship with anybody. I'm not a shipper.
Okay.
But I would do this just to annoy somebody. Have you ever thought of drawing a ship of you and some pony else that hates you?
Okay, so among some of my social circles, I'm actually not very popular. Most people that hang out with me don't like me very much. But the joke is that people like to pair me with Kichi FIM. That's a joke that gets brought up frequently. Is when are we going to start getting ship art of Brony and Kichi FIM? And at which point both Kichi and I are like, for the love of God, no. If you've got no.
We don't want the universe to implode.
Yeah.
Okay, so so the answer is no, you would not. I'm
saying it happens.
Okay.
It happens. That's what happens. some of my other friends like to ship me with other people. Random pool guy, do you value your life? So yeah, a lot of
I just
a
read
lot of
that.
people like to well, some of my friends, like my friend Sweetie Bloom, really likes to ship me with just about every female I interact with.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's confirmed. Brawny Buck and KP. Yeah, confirmation.
Invisibrony, do you value your life?
Not a lot.
Ah,
Apparently not. Okay, let's see here, guys. We are coming up on an hour and a half. Oh, not bad. I'm just trying to remember. You have two series. You have Bruck to the Face, and the name of the other one just flew out of my head for a second there. What was the other one? The
moral of the story.
Moral of the
Those are
Story. Yes.
episode reviews, and then there's a few series on there.
Yeah.
There's Brony Debates, which is more of a serious, fandom review kind of thing. I used to do fan fiction reviews. I don't anymore. And there's Stuntman Brawny, which I haven't done in a while, but I need to do more of those. That's a Patreon perk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stuntman Brony.
Stuntman Brawny. Yep.
That's where you do obviously martial artsy things.
Not really. I would take a suggestion and make a video of that.
Okay.
So, like for example, and the only person that's occupied that tier on Patreon thus far was Irish John, and he made a suggestion. One of his suggestions was, I want to see you kick a traffic cone as far as you can and then measure it. So I said, okay. And then what I did is I went out and I got the biggest traffic cone I could find, and then I filmed it and edited it like it was the Giga Drill Breaker from Gurren Lagann.
And that was just for Irish John, eh?
Yeah, so yeah, biggest traffic cone I could find. Kicked it 26.2 feet or something like that. It was at least 26 feet. It says it on the video itself.
Now, is this a drop kick or a place kick?
It was a punt.
A punt. Okay, so you didn't drop it.
No, okay, so yes, now that I fully understand your question, it was a drop. It was placed and I ran up to it and I kicked it kind of more like a field goal.
Yeah, field goal. That's a good description.
Yeah, I just gave myself like a 15-20 foot running start and just boom.
That even for a small traffic cone, those things are dense. That's impressive.
I was a little disappointed in myself, but I don't know.
Well, you did say it was. I'm picturing a rather large traffic cone, so.
It was one of the ones that come up to about your waist.
Then you can shut up about your disappointments. No one cares that you feel disappointed that went 20 something feet. That's impressive. As somebody who used to throw shot puts, I know what I speak of.
All right, well, we'll put it this way. I'm glad you think so.
Yeah. Let's see here. I saw a question scroll by there. Oh yeah, Anthology 6 is coming up at BronyCon this summer. I'm looking forward to that.
So am I.
Yes. Again, no spoilers, so no talking about it.
Well, spoiler alert on this one. I do have myself booked for BronyCon this year, and you guys are the first to know that.
Yeah, and you said you're going to Everfree?
I'm going to Everfree in a couple of weeks. I've got a panel there.
All right, guys. So if you are heading to Everfree, Bronny's got a panel to go check out. Make sure you zip in there. What's the panel about?
Brony Debates Live. So it's going to be a philosophical discussion modeled after the ancient pedagogy, if anybody knows what that is, modeled after the Socratic method.
Oh, very interesting.
Yep.
If I was going, I would love to be a part of it, but I am not. I don't think there's any more questions up there. Is there? Oh no, I swear I saw one just a minute ago.
My favorite brand of paper towel is
it's got to be Bounty, right?
It's the cheap store brand, whatever, because they're all the same.
Yeah.
Except when you get to the price, and then one is decently priced. It might cost $1 a roll or something like that, and the other is like $3 a roll.
It's insane.
Yeah.
There's very few things that in the realm of paper towels that are worth paying for above and beyond $1 a pack.
Yeah. Now, when I was living in Florida, the joke was always to show up with Brawny paper towels whenever they ran out.
Yeah.
Let me see. Am I going to Nightmare Nights Dallas? No, I am not. I don't plan to unless I don't know, something could change.
I,
I tried to go to Nightmare Nights Dallas with my LARP game and vend the game there, but they ended up not. The hotel disagreed with having a LARP battle on their premises.
oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
We had a full. Oh my god! I went at Brony Can last year and up here in Richmond, BC. We had a full on Nerf battle in the main event hall.
Oh wow.
This thing was like the size of a gymnasium. This was an enormous hall, and there must have been like 100 people in there with Nerf guns. There's just Nerf everywhere. It was insane, and they had a cardboard city set up in the middle of it, and Apricity, I think, or Kurdzilla was the mascot of the convention. She was stomping around, crushing buildings, and everyone's trying to defeat her and each other. It was just mayhem.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I wasn't even in it. Like I was on staff, so I was running around doing stuff. But I was going by the main hall and I heard shouting, so I run in there, and a friend of mine who's in there, and he'd come strapped with Nerf all over the place. I walk in the door and he looks over, he sees me, he's like, "Hey, Invisi!" He tosses me a rifle. He's like, "Watch yourself!" And I'm like, "What?" And so people start just firing at me, like, "Oh God!" But yeah, I've never been a big Nerf guy, but that was a lot of fun.
I could imagine it would be. I've done a
Yes.
whole lot of shooting sports. I did when I was 13. I went to paintball
Oh yes.
once, and I did absolutely terribly. But I was 13. When I was 13, I was 5'6" and weighed 230 pounds. I was a pretty big target, and people took advantage of that. I was also really slow and clumsy and stupid, so people took advantage of that too. I remember
You were not a paintball machine.
I remember running out of ammunition and then hiding behind cover with someone else. And he turns to me and goes, "Hey, Brawny, okay, so here's what I need you to do. I need you to see if they're still out there and if they still have ammunition. So just real quick, poke your head out and see what it's like." I was like, "Okay." I poked my head out. I swear I wasn't up there for more than a second. My visor turned red.
Yeah.
They got me right in the face. I was like, "Yep, they're still there." It's like I'm a cartoon.
I used
But
to
then,
love paintball.
but then later down the line, I went to airsoft. Like when I was 17, and at that point, I had been studying tactics and self defense and fencing for a while, and I was pretty fit. Um, they're like, "Yeah, come to airsoft with us, give it a try." These are the only two times I've ever done anything kind of sport competitive shooting, and I did really well. They gave me a sniper rifle, and I found a hiding spot, and then I found several more hiding spots. And it got to the point where the other team was like, "Oh my God, did you see Brawny? Where'd he go? You were keeping your eyes on Brawny. We can't have him disappear on us again." And I would hear them saying these things as I was not but a few feet away lining up a shot.
Yeah.
And there was one time they were like yelling at each other. They were like, "You were supposed to keep your eye on Brawny. Why didn't you do this?" You know.
He yelled, "Look at distraction," and he was gone.
I'm sneaking up behind them as they're doing this,
Nah.
and all of a sudden, but of course they're like huddled up in a group, so you can't really sneak up behind a group because one of them is always facing you.
Yeah.
So eventually, as I got in about 20 feet, 10 to 20 feet, I was pretty dang close. One of them points up, and his
I
eyes.
see him.
His eyes bulged up. He was pointing, and his mouth was opening as if he was going to say, "There he is!" Right before he even got the first word out, I took him right. I took him right in the visor.
Yeah.
He dropped, which of course prompted the other three to turn around, and I was just on a roll that day with the bolt action rifle, airsoft rifle, and dropped to my knee, bolt, pop, bolt, pop, got the other three out.
that was me in paintball. I played a lot of paintball when I was like 14 to 17, and I was good at it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Like you said, and sniping with a paintball gun is hard because those things curve out of the barrel. It's insane. But
yeah, but sniping with an airsoft rifle is probably a little bit easier. I don't know. Yeah. I don't even know if I would try paintball again.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. A couple questions for you here. I see we've already answered the favorite episode, so Scotty, if you want to go back and watch this when it's done, they're answered earlier. Do you ever get picked on for being a brony? I'm assuming if you do, that they regret it very shortly afterwards.
Nobody outside in the real world, unless I met you at a convention, they don't know I'm a brony.
There we go.
I'm I keep that in the closet.
Yeah. Were you ever
No,
in?
I don't.
Sorry.
I don't get picked on, but nobody knows.
Yeah. So that's a fair answer. What do you think of them's fighting herds?
Not ponies, don't care.
So you're the fighting is magic was where it ended for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Let's see. Were you ever an anti-brony? I don't think so.
no.
No. Um. How about when you get a paintball grenade? Clearly, he has never done that, so that's a moot question.
Okay, so that same not paintball grenade, but airsoft uh, story that I told a minute ago. In that same round, um, somebody threw a grenade, and it landed next to me. Now, and I freaked out because I didn't know what it was going to do. I had heard these things existed. I didn't know what they did. I definitely didn't know anybody had one. All of a sudden, one plops on the ground next to me. So I shouted. So I go, grenade! And I freaking dive rolled behind a tree, and then nothing happened. And all I'm hearing is just raucous laughter throughout the entire course. And I'm like, the heck is going on? They're like, dude, it wasn't a real grenade. And I poke my head out and look at it, and yeah, it was this thing to carry your airsoft pellets and help you load them, but it was shaped like a grenade. So it was just an airsoft pellet case, but it was shaped like a grenade, and they fooled me. Okay,
That's awesome.
there is no way to sugarcoat that to make it look like it was understandable. They got me.
Yeah, you got punked. Here's a good question, actually. A pool guy asks, where should the series go after the movie and season 8? Should DHX milk this cash cow for all it's worth, or cut it short and start a new generation, like maybe the kids?
I have no way of answering that question because I am not in charge of it. I would know what to do if I was in charge because if I was in charge of, if I was the director, if I was the executive, and I knew where I wanted this to go, I would be able to tell you that. But I'm not.
You haven't put thought into it, basically.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
in that position, so I'm not even going to bother. I'm just gonna watch and enjoy.
All right. Let's see here. Have you ever? Oh God, sorry. Have you ever liked any shows besides My Little Pony? I'm gonna tweak that question. Have you ever liked any shows as much as you like My Little Pony?
Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Not Korra.
not Korra.
Yeah.
I despise Korra, um, and not just because of the, shipping, but yeah, I could go on. I could go on all day about.
Yeah. No, this isn't a Korra stream. Let's not go
Yeah.
there.
Um, so yeah, I did. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Batman the Animated Series, most of the DC animated movies, Young Justice, Dan Versus, and that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh yeah.
Megas XLR. Megas XLR.
Oh wait. Was that the one with like the car and the fat guy with the blonde spiky hair?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and Samurai Jack as well. So
Oh, I forgot about
yeah,
that show.
those are my shows.
All right. I saw a question here. This is the same question that you said you weren't going to answer, but it's different enough that I think you might be able to answer it. And I'm going to tweak. And Scotty asked this. I'm going to tweak the question again. Um, the original question was, would you honestly think? Sorry, what do you think Gen 5 should be? I'm going to say, do you think that you would watch a show if, let's say, this show ended and they brought out a new My Little Pony show based around the Cutie Mark Crusaders all grown up? Would you enjoy that, do you think?
I would watch it. I would give it a try. Whether or not I enjoyed it would depend on its quality.
Fair enough. Like that's with anything, but do you think it would have a lot of potential? I think it would.
Anything has potential. You just got to write it well.
Yeah. Get Larson back in there. Woo!
Yeah, I miss Larson so much.
He's got a good sense of humor, that guy.
He's got a good everything.
Yeah. Let's see here. What is your favorite real life firearm to shoot?
I don't have nearly as much experience with firearms as I do with other melee weapons. Um, I have a Glock. I like that. I like revolvers. Um, I'm I'm pretty good with a 22 rifle. Um, and God, there was a my my younger brother used to have whatever it was that the Americans were issued as standard during World War II. It was that rifle.
The Garand?
It might have been. It shot a 45. Um, that was fun. I was terrible with it, but it it was a nice semi-automatic.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, the M1 Garand. That's what I was thinking of, but I'm not sure that's the one that we're talking about. Sorry, did you enjoy the Power Ponies episode, and what was your favorite moment from it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. When Spike came to the realization that can and has helped his friends and can do it again.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny is a theory that I read a while back or saw somewhere, and one that actually made a lot of sense to me is that Spike's role in the show, because a lot of people were like they're rag on Spike. Oh, he's a comic relief. He's a sidekick. He's not an effective character in the show.
Yeah,
They wrote a theory around that based on the fact that Spike represents the audience, like as an observer.
I could see it.
Yeah, like
Uh,
he's there
I
to
would
experience
say
and learn from everyone around him, and he's like us in the show.
I would say that there's a chance you might be reading too deeply into it, but until a writer says otherwise, I will acknowledge the possibility.
Yeah, it's a good parallel.
Yeah.
What elements are you wanting to see more of in My Little Pony that you think should be touched on more, like mystery or adventure or character development or like where
I want to see more world building.
yes, use that goddamn cutie map.
Yep.
That was something that was so annoying to me when they broke it. Like, I think they broke it on purpose so they wouldn't have to use it. And then they just like called tech support. Oh, it's up and running again. Let's get back on this train. Um, yes, Bluey, he did answer that. Quick summary for you is a friend said, "Watch this." He said, "Okay," and he liked it. That's pretty much it, right?
Yep. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yes, you were redundantly redundant, malicious. I don't see any. Did I miss any questions there?
Nah, and we've been at this for almost 2 hours, so it
might be time to wrap it up. You getting sick of this?
I wouldn't say that, but
I think we've reached a natural stopping point.
yeah, I am thinking of your audience here. Like watching it later on, I'm not sure how many people are going to watch a 2 hour long video.
Well, most of my interviews last about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
I mean, but I have no problem stopping now because honestly, like, no one's asking any questions.
Oh,
wait.
well, here's a question that I forgot to answer earlier that I did see from Pool Guy. I don't know the last two of these, Ultra Fast Scooter, but I do love Friendship is Witchcraft, and I do love Mentally Advanced Series.
Yes. No, honestly, Scooter Tricks is okay. Ultra Fast Pony's hilarious.
I will check them out as soon as I get out of here. Then.
Yeah, maybe we'll put them up. You can join my side too. We can watch them. I feel like watching them again. Yeah, no. Ultra Fast Pony is basically it's like 5 minute episodes of the show. I won't explain. I'll let you see them. They're terrible, but they're great. Do you know who Pymations is? And if so, what was your reaction when he said he was a brony?
Yes, I do know, and good for him, I guess.
Hooray!
he enjoys the same thing I enjoy. That's cool, but it's completely up to him. It's one of those subjective things.
Clap, clap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, Pymations is my hero. Like, if someone, like, say, George Takei was like, yes, I'm a Brony. Like, oh my god, George Takei is a Brony. He's like, this guy on the internet's a Brony. Okay. It's a bit of a different level
Well,
there.
even then, I'm not much for hero worship. You know, I do.
Yeah.
There are contexts where I admire people in their careers, and I would, you know, I would love to work with them at some point in time, or if at any point in time I could be on their level, that would be great. But I don't really do the hero worship kind
Yeah.
of.
I'm the same way. Like, I think I'm pretty sure the only person in this world I might fangirl squee over would be Weird Al Yankovic. That's about it. And even then,
Yeah,
it would be pretty mild. Like, oh my god, Weird Al, you're so awesome. Oh, sorry. Good to meet you. Like, but no. Other than that, people are people, and that's a question I get asked a lot too. Because I do interviews with, like I said, and these aren't even, no offense to you, famous people, like Brawny, Jay Holler. Like, oh my god, you interviewed him. Like, yeah, they're people. Like, how did you get them to interview him? Like, I asked them. Like, they're just regular people. Like, most celebrities, like, especially, big time celebrities, they hate being treated like they're special. Some of them love it, but most people just want, they're people. They want to be treated like a person. If you walk up and be like, hey, love your work, great, handshake, on your way, bang. That's probably the most respect you can show them.
yep.
Yeah. I remember actually a little story for you is years and years ago. I was coming back actually from a convention down in Anaheim, and I was in the airport, and David Duchovny was apparently on his way home, and a bunch of people were standing around this cart, and they were all chattering. This one guy comes running in, they all start getting really excited and ripping stuff off this cart, like posters and books and stuff. I'm like, what the hell is going on? My buddy's like, I don't know idea, and they rush out of the gate area, and they come back in. They're all like clamoring around this guy, and it's David Duchovny, and he's just like walking along, like, hi, yeah, and they're just like, oh, sorry, no, and I'm like looking, like, oh my god, that poor guy, like he's probably just finished a shoot in LA, he wants to go, or he's on his way to Vancouver to do a shoot or something like that, and I'm like, I just felt so bad for him, so he goes up to the gate attendee, and he's like, can I wait, down on in the gate, like on the ramp, like so I don't have to deal with these people, and they let him in. These guys are walking, like what an asshole. I'm like, really? You guys are the jerks in this situation. Like, you were mobbing this guy. You were just like right in his face and like waving stuff at him and screaming at him. Like, Jesus, like how disrespectful could you be?
I believe it's a two-way street because at the same time where people shouldn't be acting like that, people who are well known, I believe they should be at least ready for it.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
and
but
what I don't know what I would do in that situation is if I didn't feel like dealing with it, I would just and guys, can I get you to leave me alone for a bit? This is what it looks like from my perspective. Have a good day.
that's basically what he did. Like he said, thanks guys, I'm just really tired. Like I heard some of what he said to the stewardess and the guys, but it's hard to hear him over them, like basically, like I mean, literally screaming, like David Duchovny, I love you, like they were just like rabid fans. It was insane.
Yeah,
Like I get it. You're a celebrity. You should expect that kind of attention, but at the same time, people need to respect that if you're not wanting that attention at that moment, that you need to back the hell up. And these
yeah.
guys were not doing that. That's why he went and asked to go in the gate. I kind of missed that part of the story. Sorry, but yeah, like they were being very aggressive. Anyways, so that's the same thing with the voice actors because I've met some of the voice actors like Victor Tong, Peter New, Andrea. I moderated one of the panels at Brony Can for the kids meet and greet for the voice actors. Victor Tong is a really cool guy. So is Peter New. I played DDR with Victor Tong actually last year.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, what's more hilarious is I won.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, I think we are gonna wrap this up shortly because honestly, I'm hungry. I have not had dinner yet.
Oh man, don't do that to yourself.
Oh, it's only 7:30 here.
All right.
Yeah. So if you have any more questions, guys, I think we're gonna be wrapping this up in the next couple minutes. So ask them right now. Brawny, is there anything you'd like to say to Equestria Aminos before we head out?
Uh, Mostly, thank you for having me.
Well, you're welcome.
And
Thanks for doing all your videos.
yeah, these were very good questions, and I enjoyed talking with you.
You as well, and I think maybe sometime we could do a little collab.
It depends. You know,
Review or synopsis or some shit. Pardon my language. Oops. Oh, I almost made it through the whole thing. Damn it.
no, you've cussed a couple of times. I'm guessing now without realizing it. But
Maybe.
no, don't worry about it. Well, I'm just going to be straight honest with you here. I'm really picky about my collaborations. I know you might not think that because I've probably done more than anybody else in the entire fandom, but I am very picky about who and when and why and what.
Oh yeah,
So have a
it would not
specific
be.
idea.
Sorry. Go
If
ahead.
you have a specific idea, by all means, pitch it to me, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I'm not like, hey, let's just collab on the next random thing that comes along. It would have to be very, like I said, organic and fitting.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, if you do hop on the Amino too, I will link you to my review blogs. You can kind of see my style and see if it's anything that you'd be interested in working with. So,
I will. I will try to get around to setting up an amino. It's something I want to do, and you are not the first person to suggest I do that. One of my patrons now, Red Palette, is very, has said multiple times I should get on amino.
yes, you
My
should.
is I don't have time to manage even one more minor project, much less another social media page. So that's the only reason that I wouldn't at
Yeah,
this point.
fair enough.
But
No,
I can be found easiest by you can email people can email me. My email's at the end of every video. It's bronydebates@gmail.com. You can look me up on Tumblr as well. I see everything. So if you ask me a question that's worth answering, is it's a real question, I will get to you. You know.
excellent. That's good to hear. Also, rather ominous. I see everything. I'm always watching.
Yeah, no, my voice doesn't help either.
That deep growly voice.
Yeah,
I'm
I
always
I
watching.
uh, an analogy I use is, well, my life might be a little bit better if I didn't sound like a chain smoking cement mixer.
Hey, you're the smoking man from X Men, or the
All
cancer.
right,
Never mind. Old reference. Um, yeah.
went over my
So
head.
no worries. Let's see here. I don't think we had any more questions, guys. So in that case, nope, that's not a question. It's sarcasm. Yeah, nope. I think that's it, guys. So thank you very much, Brawny, for joining us. Thank you, streamers from, or not streamers, stream watchers from Equestria Amino for joining us and asking all these lovely questions. And I'm sure Brawny will continue to make videos for us to enjoy as long as Hasbro does the same, or
All right,
DHX.
whoever.
Somebody make ponies, damn it.
All right. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, thanks, guys. You have a great one, and Brawny and Invisi out.